Golf has long been seen as a gentleman's sport, steeped in tradition, etiquette, and a code of conduct that dates back centuries. The PGA Tour has worked tirelessly to maintain that image, carefully curating the way the game is presented to the world. Players are expected to be professional, respectful, and in line with the unspoken standards of golf's culture. Yet every so often, a figure comes along who completely disrupts that balance. Someone who refuses to play by the old rules and in doing so, shakes the very foundation of the sport. Today we're talking about a golfer who has not only captured the attention of fans worldwide, but has left the PGA uneasy, even terrified, of what his rise represents. Because he isn't just another talented athlete swinging a club. He's a cultural force, a disruptor, and someone rewriting what it means to succeed in golf. For decades, the PGA has been dominated by carefully packaged stories. Players like Jack Nicklaus, Tiger Woods, and Rory McIlroy have all embodied different eras of greatness. Tiger, of course, broke barriers, becoming the most dominant and marketable golfer of all time. But even Tiger, despite his controversies off the course, largely fit into the PGA's model. Relentless drive, professional demeanor, polished image. This new golfer, however, doesn't fit that mold at all. He represents something raw, unfiltered, and unpredictable. The PGA isn't terrified because he's winning. It's terrified because of how he's winning and what he symbolizes for the future of the game. Fans are drawn to him not just because of his game, but because he doesn't care about being traditional. He's outspoken, brash at times, and he connects with audiences in ways golf has rarely seen. He streams online, engages with fans on social media, and carries himself more like an entertainer than a traditional golfer. In a world where attention spans are shrinking and audiences crave authenticity, he's giving them exactly what they want. That's a nightmare for the PGA, which has historically controlled the narrative around its stars. Suddenly, here's someone they can't control, and he doesn't want to be controlled. On the course, he's breaking barriers too. His style is unconventional. Big drives, aggressive shots, and a willingness to take risks that most PGA pros would never dream of. Traditionalists scoff, calling it reckless or disrespectful to the game, but fans love it. They see a golfer who's fearless, who isn't afraid to miss if it means going for glory. That kind of mentality resonates with younger audiences who see golf as slow, rigid, and outdated. He's injecting energy into a sport desperate for it. But for the PGA, this also raises questions. What happens if this kind of play becomes the new norm? What happens if golfers start caring more about highlight reels than about the etiquette of the game? Another reason the PGA fears him is because of the way he's monetizing his presence outside of golf. Instead of relying solely on tour winnings or sponsorships controlled by the PGA's ecosystem, he's building his own brand, his own empire. Merchandise, streaming platforms, independent endorsements. He's proving that a golfer doesn't need to be completely tied to the tour to make money. That's dangerous for the PGA, because it weakens their control. If more golfers follow his path, the PGA could lose its monopoly on who gets to be a star in the sport. It's not just money either. It's influence. His social media following dwarfs many of his peers. He posts content that goes viral, whether it's a jaw-dropping trick shot, a candid moment, or an unfiltered rant about the state of the game. Younger fans don't discover him through PGA broadcasts. They discover him through TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. This means that for the next generation of golf fans, he, not the PGA, is the face of the sport. That shift in power terrifies the tour because it undermines their role as the gatekeeper of golf's image. The PGA's unease also comes from history. They've seen what happens when one player becomes bigger than the game itself. Tiger Woods was such a phenomenon that the tour's ratings, sponsorships, and global reach skyrocketed. But when Tiger faltered due to injuries and personal scandals, the PGA suffered. They realized they were too dependent on one man. Now, with this new golfer, the risk is different, but just as dangerous. He's not just a dominant player. They can't box him in, can't polish his image, and can't predict what he'll do next. That unpredictability makes sponsors nervous and challenges the carefully crafted aura of tradition the PGA sells. Some insiders argue that this golfer is simply what golf needs. someone to shake up its rigid culture and bring in a new wave of fans. And to some extent, they're right. Attendance is higher at events where he plays. Merchandise sales spike when he's involved. Social media buzz surrounding golf is at its highest levels in years. But the PGA can't ignore the risks. A sport built on tradition isn't ready for a star who openly mocks those traditions, challenges authority, and plays by his own rules. It's like trying to fit a wildfire into a glass box. It doesn't work, and eventually, something breaks. What makes this story even more compelling is the way other golfers respond to him. Some embrace him, seeing the potential to modernize golf and bring in new audiences. Others resent him, believing his antics disrespect the integrity of the game. This split within the players adds another layer of tension. The PGA thrives when its players present a united front. Now, it faces division, not just between itself and this golfer, but within the locker room. As his popularity grows, the PGA has tried subtle tactics to rein him in. Fines for minor infractions, stricter enforcement of rules, behind-the-scenes pressure to conform, but none of it sticks. In fact, every attempt to silence or control him only adds fuel to his fire. Fans rally behind him even more, seeing him as a rebel fighting against an outdated system. And in today's culture, people love rebels. They don't want another polished cookie-cutter golfer. They want someone real, raw, and unafraid to push boundaries. The irony is that the PGA benefits from him, even as it fears him. Ratings climb when he's in contention. Highlight reels featuring his daring shots spread far beyond golf's usual audience. Sponsors may be wary, but they can't ignore the exposure he brings. He's both the PGA's greatest asset and its greatest threat. That duality is exactly why they're terrified. They need him, but they can't control him. Over time, his impact may change golf forever. We may see more golfers embracing entertainment as much as performance. We may see traditional broadcasts give way to live streams and interactive fan experiences. We may see the PGA forced to adapt its image to keep up with younger audiences. Whether they like it or not, this golfer is dragging them into the future. And that future looks nothing like the past. He represents a shift from golf as a quiet, elite pastime to golf as a global entertainment spectacle. His energy, his personality, and his refusal to conform are pulling in fans who never cared about golf before. And in doing so, he's creating a future where the PGA may no longer be the undisputed king of golf's narrative. That's what terrifies them the most. Not just that he's winning tournaments, but that he's winning hearts and minds in a way they can't match. The truth is, golf has always needed change, even if it didn't want to admit it. And now that change has arrived in the form of one fearless golfer. Whether the PGA adapts or resists will determine not just his legacy, but the future of the entire sport. The story of why the PGA is terrified of this golfer isn't just about golf. It's about power, control, and the evolution of sports in a digital era. To truly understand the weight of what's happening, we need to step back and look at the bigger picture. Golf has always been one of the most conservative sports in the world. Its roots lie in exclusivity, in country clubs with strict dress codes and unwritten rules of behavior. For decades, those traditions shaped not only how golf was played, but also how it was perceived by the public. Players were expected to maintain a certain image, one that reflected discipline, politeness, and loyalty to the sport. Deviating from that was almost unthinkable, but times have changed. Audiences don't want carefully curated images anymore. They want authenticity, flaws, and stories that feel real. That's exactly what this golfer provides, and that's why he feels so threatening to the old guard. His rise is also closely tied to the shifting media landscape. In the past, the PGA controlled the main way fans consumed golf: television broadcasts, carefully edited highlight reels, official press conferences. Today, those channels are no longer dominant. A golfer with a smartphone and a social media account can reach millions of people directly, bypassing the PGA's gatekeeping entirely. That's what this golfer has mastered. He shares behind-the-scenes moments, jokes, training sessions, even frustrations after bad rounds. He's human in a way that many PGA wall between the player and the audience. But for the PGA, it undermines decades of effort to maintain golf's pristine image. It's worth noting that this isn't the first time golf has faced a disruptor. Arnold Palmer brought charisma and charm to the sport, creating the Arnie's Army fan movement in the 1960s. Seve Ballesteros broke traditions with his flamboyant style and fiery personality. And Tiger Woods, of course, shattered racial and cultural barriers while redefining what dominance in golf looked like. Each time, the sport grew, but each time the PGA had to adapt. This golfer is part of that lineage, but he's different in one key way. He's not just a golfer, he's a brand built on rebellion. His career is as much about content creation and fan engagement as it is about fairways and greens. That makes him harder to contain because even if he walked away from the PGA tomorrow, his influence wouldn't vanish. In fact, it might grow stronger. And here's the nightmare scenario for the PGA. What if he decides to leave? What if he partners with rival tours, independent competitions, or creates his own golf events? We've already seen hints of this in other sports. Levy Golf, funded by Saudi Arabia's public investment fund, shook up the golf world by offering massive contracts and alternative formats. Some players left the PGA to join it, sparking lawsuits, tension, and heated debates about the future of professional golf. Imagine this golfer spearheading a movement like that, or even starting something entirely new. He has the audience, the charisma, and the independent revenue streams to pull it off. The PGA knows that possibility is real, and it terrifies them. Another aspect of his rise is psychological. Golf is a mental game more than almost any other sport. Tradition tells players to stay calm, stay humble, never show too much emotion. But this golfer throws that out the window. He celebrates loudly after big shots. He vents after mistakes. He embraces passion instead of suppressing it. For fans, it's refreshing. They see themselves in his highs and lows. For the PGA, it's uncomfortable. They worry it makes the game look chaotic, less dignified. Yet that passion may be exactly what draws new audiences who never saw themselves in golf before. So what do you think? Is this golfer the savior golf has been waiting for, or the chaos that will tear down its traditions? Let me know in the comments. I want to hear your take. And if you enjoyed diving into this story, don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe for more deep dives into the stories shaping sports today. Because this is just the beginning, and trust me, you won't want to miss what happens next.